You think you have time. Tomorrow you'll start the important work. Tomorrow you'll live more wisely, love more deeply. But tomorrow is a story you tell yourself to soothe the mind. Marcus Aurelius knew the truth. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The emperor who commanded legions and ruled an empire found his greatest conquest in the mastery of his own fleeting hours. When did you last truly feel the weight of a single moment? Not as something rushing past on its way to becoming memory, but as the only reality you can ever truly possess? Marcus tells us, "Remember how long thou hast been putting off these things, and how often thou hast received an opportunity from the gods, and yet dost not use it." The truth is sobering. Every breath we take is one fewer remaining to us. Every sunrise witnessed is subtracted from our dwindling total. The river of time flows in only one direction, and we are carried with it, regardless of our wishes. The emperor wrote to himself, "Short is the little which remains to thee of life. Live as on a mountain, for it makes no difference whether a man lives there or here, if he lives everywhere in the world as in a state." His words cut through our comfortable illusions. We do not have 10,000 days to waste, nor even 10. Each moment slips irretrievably into the past. This one, and now this one too. Gone forever. The meditations tell us, "Every moment think steadily as a Roman and a man to do what thou hast in hand with perfect and simple dignity and feeling of affection and freedom and justice, and to give thyself relief from all other thoughts. The past exists only in memory. The future exists only in imagination. The present moment is our entire existence, and it is dissolving even as we grasp it." In Book 4, Marcus reminds himself, with striking clarity, "Do not act as if thou wert going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over thee. While thou livest, while it is in thy power, be good." How many people before us have stood where we now stand, felt what we now feel, and thought themselves essential to the world? All have been swept away by time. All have become, at most, names on stone or stories seldom told. As Marcus says, how quickly all things disappear. In the universe, the bodies themselves, but in time, the remembrance of them. Modern life conspires to hide this truth from us. We fill our days with activity, our screens with entertainment, our minds with noise. Anything to avoid confronting the simple reality that our time is finite and diminishing. In the quiet of the night, when sleep eludes us, thoughts of our own mortality often visit uninvited. Most of us push these thoughts away, afraid to look directly at what they might reveal. Marcus Aurelius counsels the opposite approach. "Despise not death," he writes, "but welcome it, since it is one of those things which nature wills." Death is not something in the far future. It is woven into the fabric of our present. It gives shape and meaning to life itself. Consider how Marcus confronts his own mortality. Pass through the remainder which is allowed thee in life, in harmony with nature, as one who is ready to give it back whenever it shall require, without any impulsive movement or insubordination. Death is not an enemy to be defeated, but a teacher whose lessons we desperately need. In Book 2, Marcus reminds himself, "Since it is possible that thou mayest depart from life this very moment, regulate every act and thought accordingly." This is not morbid, it is clarifying. Death is the ultimate context for life. Without it, nothing would have value or urgency. The finite nature of our days is precisely what makes them precious. When we deny death, we deny life its proper significance. We drift through our days as if in an endless dream. But life is not a rehearsal for some future performance. It is the performance itself, and our audience is watching now. Marcus understood that death gives life its proper frame. Thou art a little soul carrying about a corpse. Stark words, perhaps, but they concentrate the mind wonderfully. Living well means not forgetting death, but befriending it, not in some morbid obsession, but in the quiet acknowledgement that our time is limited and therefore sacred. We dream of someday, when the time is right, when life slows down. After this project, we tell ourselves, once the children are grown, when I've saved enough. In retirement, then I'll begin to live fully. Marcus Aurelius calls this fantasy what it is, delusion. Do not act as if thou wert going to live 10,000 years, he writes. Death hangs over thee. While thou livest, while it is in thy power, be good. Every delay is a theft from your own soul. The emperor himself, with all the burdens of Rome upon his shoulders, refused the comfort of postponement. In Book 8, he reminds himself, no longer talk at all about the kind of man that a good man ought to be, but be such. The illusion of delay is perhaps humanity's most persistent self-deception. We imagine time stretching before us like an endless plain, when in reality it may be a narrow ledge. What would you do differently today if you knew with certainty that your remaining days were few? What conversations would you have? What actions would you take? What forgiveness would you offer or seek? Marcus challenges us with these words. Think of the life you have lived so far as over, and as a dead man, see what's left as a bonus. This mental exercise strips away the comforting lie of unlimited tomorrows and places us squarely in the urgent present. Consider how many people have left this life with their music still inside them, their love unexpressed, their purpose unfulfilled, not because they lacked ability or opportunity, but because they trusted in the false promise of someday. As Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, reminds us, putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. Marcus Aurelius presents us with a paradox. We must live with urgency, yet without panic, with purpose, yet free from anxiety. He writes, do now what nature demands. Hurry at once to the goal which you have before you. But this is not the frantic activity of modern productivity culture. It is not about doing more, but about doing what matters, and doing it now with full attention. The Stoic way is deliberate action, not distracted motion. As Marcus tells himself, if thou workest at that which is before thee, following right reason seriously, vigorously, calmly, without allowing anything else to distract thee, thou wilt live happy. The emperor understood that true urgency is not a state of panic, but a state of presence. It means bringing your complete attention to whatever is before you, whether governing an empire or tending a garden. He writes, remember that man lives only in the present, in this fleeting instant. All the rest of his life is either past and gone or not yet revealed. This paradox, to act with urgency yet remain tranquil, is at the heart of Stoic wisdom. We find it in Marcus's counsel, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Not frantic action, but deliberate action. Each moment lived with integrity becomes a victory over mortality. Each act aligned with your deepest values transcends time itself. The emperor writes, "Waste not the remainder of thy life in thoughts about others. In everything which thou doest, ask thyself, how does this concern me? What is the object of it? In what will it end?" How might we apply these ancient insights to our modern lives? Marcus Aurelius offers us a path, not of grand gestures, but of daily practice. First, the morning reflection. Before you begin each day, take a moment to remember your mortality. Ask yourself, if today were my last, would I be proud of how I plan to live it? This is not to induce anxiety, but clarity. As Marcus wrote, "In the morning when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to the work of a human being." This simple practice reframes your entire day. Traffic frustrations, trivial conflicts, and minor inconveniences fall away in the face of finite time. The emperor reminds us how ridiculous and what a stranger he is, who is surprised at anything which happens in life. Second, establish a midday reset. Pause briefly, even for 30 seconds, and remind yourself, half of today is already spent. What remains is mine to honor. Marcus practiced this vigilance throughout his days. About what am I now employing my own soul? On every occasion, I must ask myself this question and inquire, what have I now in this part of me, which they call the ruling principle? Third, keep a weekly memento mori journal. Once each week, write down one thing you postponed that aligns with your deepest values. Reflect without blame, for as Marcus says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Then resolve to act. Finally, before sleep, read aloud this reminder from the emperor. Soon you will have forgotten all things. Soon all things will have forgotten you. Let these words wash over you not as pessimism, but as liberation. They free you from the weight of impression management and trivial concerns. We have faced the river of time and seen how easily it carries us away if we drift. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who bore the weight of Rome upon his shoulders, reminds us that our mortality is not a curse, but our most clarifying truth. Perfection of character, he writes, is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. The illusion of delay may be comforting, but it robs us of the very life we hope to live someday. When we embrace the reality of our finite time, every moment becomes an opportunity, every interaction significant, every choice meaningful. The Stoic path is not one of panic or despair in the face of mortality, but of clear-eyed acceptance that transforms how we live today. As Marcus tells us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. We cannot control the length of our lives, but we can control their depth. We cannot add days to our life, but we can add life to our days. We cannot escape death, but we can ensure that when it comes, it finds us truly alive. In the end, Marcus Aurelius offers us this profound comfort. A good man does not worry about death. He lives virtuously and then accepts whatever comes next. We have faced the river of time and seen how easily it carries us away if we drift. But once we accept death, a new question arises. How do we live rightly with others, knowing how brief and precious each life is? Next time, we explore Marcus's wisdom on relationships, society, and service, serving the whole, Stoic duty, and universal brotherhood.